It's great. So you mentioned earlier that we were doing this tech conference back in September, and we're in our Ecamm headquarters. Everything is going along swimmingly, and all of a sudden, Cox Cable decided to just not work in the middle of this important event. There's a couple thousand people like ready to see what's going on, and normally these things happen. It's a blip. It's a 5 minutes or 10 minutes blip or whatever. No, it was like the whole rest of the day. So I streamed the entire second half of a multi-thousand person conference with an iPhone 12 because Speedify kept it going.
You saw part
Really?
of it? Cool.
Nice. All right, we are famous. You want to say hi to everybody? Now you're on the video. It's a wave. That's the camera right there. Nice. All right. We are going back to look at this guy's house. And it has a lot of white lights. It's nice. I like the wreath. Oh, we didn't notice what's going on in the basement window. It's snowing.
Some takeaways are, first, guys, get started. If I look back at my original lives, they are awful. They're terrible. But we all start somewhere and we all get better. And every time you go live and every time you get on camera, you're going to get a little bit more comfortable.
There he is. Hey, Christian.
Fine.
I think that's where you've got to be a little bit creative. You've got to kind of jump through the screen, and the only way you can jump through the screen is, I think you've got a Peroni like I do.
I do have a Peroni.
And in a few minutes, I think, or maybe now, we're going to open it, but we can share the exact same beer together and we can talk about it. And all of a sudden now, we've reached each other at a deeper level.
But it was like a hard drop. Stream ended. Concurrent viewership halved or thirded. Is if you lose internet connection, even if you have a dedicated,
brutal how fast they go. Yeah,
they'll switch to Netflix. There's too many entertainment options. So I was sitting there like the first time it happened. What can I do? And I looked over at my backpacks of the gear that runs on Speedify. You paid for a year of it. You can use it on any computer or device. So I just pulled out my one of several hotspots I have, hooked it up, cranked up Speedify, and it has never been a problem since.
And lo and behold, you've got one microphone in there, you've got two dongles in there, you've got an Ethernet there, and you've got Wi-Fi running on the thing as well. If only we had some software that we could bond all those signals together and broadcast over. Hey, guess what we did? We started using yours. Others I don't think are available, but we haven't used others. But what we did was we used the Speedify software at a command line level. So it's not running a whole UI which is starting to drain resources. It's really very, very base level. And the really clever people at the BBC got it all working. And we're now presenting whole programs every single day of the year have been presented using this technology. All our weather reports from our weather presenter are done on them.
We're actually at an hour here, but if you don't mind, I'm happy to keep going.
I mean, this build's going to be done in like a minute, so. But here's the build. I don't have a power cable, unfortunately, or I don't have one readily available, but this is what it looks like.
Nice.
Good to go.
We're using software like Speedify to bond our internet connections. So we're using both the iPhone 12's cellular connection, and it's connecting to this Android phone in my hand and using its Verizon connection. So hopefully we get good video even though we're walking around in West Philadelphia. We also talk about stuff like, how to run your business with live streaming. And I think Nate's gonna have a lot of insights. You gotta slide over that way. You're about to walk on the railing. A lot of insights because he's
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Alex Geesis, and this is the 71st episode of Speedify Live, the show where we talk about everything live streaming. You know, the technology and gear you need to go live, how to make a show that people like, and, you know, the business end, how do you market it? How do you make a living doing this stuff? Our very special guest today is Yury from Softvelum. He's the CEO who is responsible for creating Larix Broadcaster. Hey, Yury.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm good. So for those of you who just watched that intro, every clip where I wasn't at a desk, the clips where, you know, I'm walking down the sidewalk in West Philadelphia, where I'm in City Hall, all of that was filmed with Larix Broadcaster on an iPhone. So I'm a big user. It's very exciting to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to show our products, to show some background of our work. Thank you.
Yeah. You mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Yury Udovichenko. I'm a CEO of Softvelum and one of the founders of the company. Our team has been working on streaming products since 2011. We've created a bunch of software products that help people create their live streaming infrastructures from the consumption side, like Larix Broadcaster, through server side via Nimble Streamer to the playback side via various players that we have. And through the years, we've built a good customer base, a good base of users, collaborators that show us their ideas, share with us, and so that makes us build our products better. And so far we have like more than 1,000 customers, companies from around the globe, and then hundreds of thousands of users that installed our products on a mobile device. And it's good to, as I said, it's good to show some background of how we do it.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So, by the way, I see that Barb and Insomnia Doodles have figured it out already, but we're live here. So anything you post in the comments, both Yury and I will see, and we are happy to take questions and things.
A lot of people.
Although discussions of the Music Man might be slightly off topic. But we still have it. Keep going. We just might not put you on the screen if you're talking about crime rates in Gary, Indiana. Larix Broadcaster is completely free, right?
Exactly.
So what's the actual business?
Actually, Larix started back in 2015. A lot of people came to us and asked about, like, do you have anything to stream from the mobile device? Because we have a server-side solution that I hope we're going to talk about later. And then, like, do you have anything to contribute? Because we need these features. We would like to have some maybe SDK to build our own solution to publish into your media server. So what do you have? And since we knew that there's this trend of live streaming going on, in 2014 we saw Periscope and Meerkat competing with each other, one of which was acquired by Twitter. And so this trend was ongoing, because the hardware, the actual mobile device, were capable of streaming real time finally. And so we thought that let's just check it out, like let's see how we can go with it. Since we had the great expertise in the protocol part, because Nimble Streamer is capable of processing multiple protocols, we took that expertise, built a proof of concept little app for Android and iOS. Works fine. Like, let's just put it out there and let our customers try to use it to see how it goes. And if somebody wants to build their own applications on top of that using our code base, then why not providing some SDK and see how it goes? And so, 7 years later, we still have free app which shows all the capabilities that people can use for free without ads, without any complications. And then for those who want to build their infrastructure based also on Larix, they can purchase the SDK build their own apps, and just do whatever they want with it. And so Larix is kind of I would say, advertising for our SDK, but by its own, it's a completely free, complete application. That's how it goes, and all the features that we have in Larix go to SDK and vice versa. It's good. So it brought a lot of people to the company. It showed a lot of good cases with our other products. It's good. It's working. It's been working good for us. So the business, as you asked, like what's the deal? What's the business? It's like this: like give something for free, let people use it, enjoy it, and if somebody wants to give you some money for that, we have an option for this as well.
Nice. So Insomnia Doodle says, it's awesome that you've made your SDK so accessible to folks.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a very nice little app for free. So tell us about what's Larix Player. You got Broadcaster and Player.
Larix Player is well, initially it was also kind of a proof of concept for playing the protocol that we call SLDP. You see, when the RTMP was announced to be sunset by Adobe with not RTMP but Flash Player, which meant that RTMP will not be able to be played in the browser or anywhere else, we started thinking like, what's the replacement? How's it going to go? Like, what people are going to use to watch in their browser real time? HLS has a delay, huge latency, like 10 seconds or more by default. So what are we gonna do? Like WebRTC was not that good at that time, so we thought like, what can we do? And so we decided to create this protocol based on WebSockets, which would be able to be played in the browser with MSE support, and we did it. We created a free player that can be embedded into your web page to play SLDP, and then since people would like to embed their playback into the mobile apps, like why not creating the mobile app that would be able to play SLDP and also RTMP just in case, and Icecast. So let's do it. So we built it. We created the SDK as well because people would like to use it to build their infrastructures, as I mentioned previously with Larix. And so, excuse me. And so we built the app, put it out there. People started using it for playing SLDP, Icecast, and RTMP. And as time went by, we added some more features like SRT support, which I'm sure we can talk about later as well, which is a great technology, which we endorse and we like a lot. And so as time went by, the player became part of our ecosystem. So people can ingest with Larix Broadcaster, grind it with Nimble Streamer or any other tool that they like, and then play it with Larix Player on a mobile device or in the browser if they use Nimble Streamer. So it's a family of products. And so we also have Larix Screencaster, which is basically a broadcaster which streams the content of your screen. That's it. It's a simple app. Usually people combine them into one single app, like both camera and screen capture, but we decided to split them to separate those use cases in order to not complicate the UI, because the more features you add, the more complicated it becomes. It's just hell of a mess. And so why not separate apps? So we created this app, and it's popular by its own. As it turned out, a lot of streamers, gaming streamers, use it to actually stream to like Twitch, YouTube, you name it.
So we got a question.
It's a family of products.
So is any of this open source, or they're just free apps, but they're not open source? Is that right?
It's freeware, but it's not open source.
Okay. So Insomnia Doodle is asking, people can be incredibly creative with tools like yours. Has anyone used your SDK in a way that was surprising to you?
Oh, well, you see, well, first of all, our privacy policy does not allow us to speak about our customers unless they explicitly allowed us to do that. So I cannot give any exact examples of that nature. As for the usage itself, the Larix usage itself, we see a lot of people doing that on a daily basis with various use cases. Like My favorite example, as I'm an NFL fan, was the NFL draft of 2020, I found it out in the article internet at the day of the draft, because it's a free software, you can download it and use it, and so they used it in NFL draft as part of their contribution chain. They installed it on iPhones. Those iPhones were sent to the prospects and to the head coaches and general managers. They put it on a tripod, and it was streaming like the entire day for 3 days of the draft. It was using SRT as an ingest protocol, and at the other end, they used high-vision hardware to accept it and to actually process it in their production lifecycle. And so I found out about this occasionally, because I was mentioned in the article that was provided on a sports media magazine, sports group magazine, sorry, and I watched the draft because I'm a fan myself, and I watched the images that I knew was shot by Larix Broadcaster, because I mean, it's obvious when you can tell the professional camera from the phone lenses. So there was a huge case. I mean, I was blown out because this is awesome, and
that is awesome.
then it was used by people in various locations. I saw a guy who was bicycling through Canada. He put his phone in front of him, and he was driving, bicycling through Canada, and it was streaming live through RTMP to Twitch, real time. Nice. I guess the cellular coverage in Canada is awesome because the stream didn't break. It has a good quality. It was fine.
Nice.
And examples like this go over there,
so
on a daily
Ryan
basis,
is asking, did they use in the Major League Baseball draft as well?
Yes, I saw that too. From the article, from the same online resource. They used it on the MLB draft. Maybe they used a bit less devices themselves, but the mechanics was the same. I think they used RTMP. That's what I read from the article.
Nice. So let's talk about SRT. What is SRT for those who don't know?
Well, SRT is a secure, reliable protocol. Is a technology based on UDP, and it's kind of it's a technology from the family of reliable UDP delivery. We got our hands on SRT in 2017 when it was first introduced by Haivision on NAB show of that year. We were on the show with my business partner at the time. We were looking for a solution for UDP streaming, for reliable UDP streaming, considering options, and then this announcement came out. We jumped on it. We tried it we were sitting in a hotel room and just compiling it, trying it for the first time. Works like a charm. So we added it into Nimble Streamer, Larix Broadcaster, and lately on Larix Player. We supported that. We became a member of SRT Alliance, became contributor to the code base of actual SRT library, helped people there to solve some problems, contributed from our side when it came to mobile devices, like some feedback on the fixed issues. And since then we were, I can say ambassadors, because we showed the full beauty of this protocol to our customers, and 3 years, the customers who actually using that protocol, the customer base grew and grew. People right now we see a lot of customers who use this as a total replacement of RTMP as an ingest protocol, because traditionally you use RTMP to ingest, but when it comes to delivery across the continents, with a lot of packet loss, with a lot of problems within the networks, which sometimes might break and lose your packets, it shows significant performance. And so that allowed us to come to other use cases, like there's a production facility that uses NDI inside of it. There's a Nimble Streamer that they install. The Nimble Streamer intakes the NDI stream fully ready to be transmitted, packet it to SRT, send it to another continent. Then another Nimble gets the SRT, unpacks it to the NDI, and then another production facility use that as a regular NDI. This works like a charm. We saw that working for our customers, and that brings production and continental production to to another level. And so cases like this appear all over the place. And so we can tell that this is the next big thing in the internet delivery.
Yeah. So SRT, it's a better RTMP, right?
Well, it's not exactly RTMP because you need to understand the difference in nature between TCP-based RTMP and UDP-based SRT. SRT can still lose packets, and in order to compensate that, it uses larger latency, and so it's kind of a trade-off. Either you add latency and add reliability, or you remove that, and it's real time.
Right.
So. Yeah.
But it doesn't work on really any of the like Twitch or YouTube. I mean, do any of them accept SRT directly today?
I don't think so.
Sad. I want to upgrade.
Well, that's why there are a lot of companies, a lot of services that provide this the solution, the middle solution, like for the proxying for their customers.
Yeah. So Ben Jeans asks, do you have a Windows and Mac OS option, not just for mobile devices?
If you refer to Larix Broadcaster, we don't have a Windows option. We hear from people that they launched Larix on M1 iOS. Not Mac OS, but we didn't add any specific support for that. Maybe we should come up with that later on. But so far, we're focused on mobile devices.
All right. Kyle says, I understand you're the CEO. Do you still have any hands-on development at this point in time?
No. I'm fully focused on. I used to be an engineer and software developer myself for like 2 decades, but now I'm focused more on the I would say front end part of the things in Softvelum. Yeah, right. The videos, the articles, all this stuff. This comes from my hands.
Yeah, that's what happens. So, I'm the CEO of Connectify, and there's really none of my code in Speedify anymore. I mean, I think there's 30 lines. I do take time to use Python to prototype ideas. Like I write little programs in Python to say, oh, look, if Speedify did this, it would be fantastic. And then once I convince people, they look at what I did, throw away my code.
Yeah, I mean, we have a team of talented engineers. Each of us has like decades of experience in software development. So if I start interrupting into their work, I believe something bad will happen to our product. So I prefer to stay away.
That's why I think it's good that I use a different, like I use a language that we don't use in our products if I'm messing around. So no one has any illusion that the CEO isn't telling them to take this code and use it.
Yeah, most of our team is it consists of engineers, and a lot of ideas come from the engineering point. Like when our customers come to us and ask for some help, they provide some feedback. Our engineers evaluate that, and they decide like this is a good technical opportunity to add this feature or this capability. Like, why don't we do this? And so from technical, all the ideas, they mostly come from technical perspective because we hear a lot from the engineers on the ground who actually do their job with their hands. And so the engineering is the like primarily way of like getting the feedback and adding new features.
Yeah. Years ago, I went to a talk by one of President Bush's economic advisors who had just resigned. And her main point actually was that 50% of all product improvement ideas, she said this is like consistent across industries and stuff, come from the people actually making the product. That the customers and the CEO and the marketing department, all of them add up at best to the same amount as the people making the product. They know how to improve the product. And it was a giant argument about how foolish it was to outsource all of your manufacturing. But
Yeah, we work in the industry where engineering is the source, is the primary source of ideas, and the problems that our customers come to us, they're also engineers. They're solving their tasks. If they cannot solve some task with the existing tools, they come to software engineers like ourselves and provide their feedback. And so this exchange of ideas between engineers bring out new ideas, new products to make customers happy.
Right. Yes. So you very much see your customers as the people using your SDK to make their apps, right? It's not so much the end user.
Well, no, it's actually yin and yang. You know, it's connected because some people buy our SDK to develop their own apps, but we get a lot of feedback from the end users who actually use Larix on their phone. As I said, we have like hundreds of thousands of users so far on the end user device, and so we get their feedback. And it's actually for the mobile device team of our company. It's really easy to prioritize things. Like we have this wish list of what people actually requested us over the time, and the more people request some feature, the more the priority, and then when it comes so huge in terms of responses that we can't avoid it, ignore it, then we just do it. Like for instance, the overlays feature that we released, the latest feature that we released, it was purely the feedback from the customers. And by the way, today, the latest build came to iOS with the latest improvements, which includes the web overlays and text overlays. That means that you can, like, the biggest feedback that we get for that feature is that customers want to show the scoreboard. That's the real example. Like, I want to show this scoreboard from this service to present the score of the game. Like, how can I do it? So web overlays solve this problem, and we tested this scenario. It works good. So this build is available right now on iOS and will be available soon on Android as well. So I think we're gonna make a tutorial video in a short period of time to actually display and showcase how you can use this feature.
All right. So did I hear that Riot Games is using Nimble Streamer?
That is what I heard.
I was gonna say, any thoughts on esports? I mean, I think live streaming.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, I'll be honest. As I said, we don't expose the names of our customers unless they expose themselves. That's the case for Riot Games. They published the article where they explained how they built their streaming infrastructure using Nimble Streamer, and that's how I can refer to them. And they've been an inspiration for us, giving us some ideas. Like NDI ingest was actually originally the thought that was just coined to us from them, and that's when we thought, like, why not try this, because this would make their life a lot more easier. And so at the time when they released the article, they used SRT, Nimble for SRT. For transmitting streams across their locations, probably for some other use cases as well. And I'm sure they evolve the infrastructure as time goes by. So I hope they will publish a new article explaining what they do now sometime later.
Good. Yeah, I'd like to read that. So Ben Jeans asks, with all the technology advancements in the broadcast industry, what would you like to see happen in the next couple of years? Your example of NDI earlier, for instance.
Oh, it's hard to say. We can see that the industry itself is growing over the years. We see WebRTC getting more and more traction, more and more momentum, and speaking of WebRTC, Nimble Streamer, in a few days we're going to release WebRTC ingest in Nimble Streamer using WHIP signaling, which would allow people to publish live stream from the browser without any additional software needed directly. Like, you want to talk to somebody, you open the web page, click a button, the stream goes to Nimble Streamer, and then Once it's in the Nimble Streamer, it can grind this stream into the variety of output protocols like SRT, NDI, RTMP, HLS, you name it.
So it's an extension you install in your browser?
Well, from the browser perspective, it's just a web page. You open the web page, which we will provide the code for the web page, which you just insert, like copy paste, set up your destination for your Nimble Streamer instance, and that's it. Like, the user opens the browser, enables microphone and camera, pushes the button. That's it. The rest is the magic done by Nimble Streamer. So we're gonna release this within a few days. It's actually ready. It's being tested right now heavily, as we always do. And once we are sure that this is the right condition of this feature, we're going to release it to the public and announce it. And later on, we plan adding WebRTC output to the mobile device as well, which means that mobile device will be able to push WebRTC to Nimble or to any other solution that supports the WHIP signaling. The signaling is the key to WebRTC Exchange.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of missing in the WebRTC standard, right? How you start the call. It just sort of assumes you have a web page where you start however you want it, right? So there's an interoperability problem there.
Well,
right?
it's been a problem of, well, the WebRTC itself is a stack of technologies, a huge stack of technologies. It's like a huge multi-layer hamburger. Over the years, the industry came to some more or less standard solutions that they find useful for everybody. So WHIP signaling, we see it as one of those more or less standardized things that can be used. So a number of WebRTC servers use that already. So once we add this to Larix Broadcaster, you will be able to publish from your phone to any of those WebRTC servers as well. But that's just the upcoming features. For Larix Broadcaster, for Nimble Streamer, it's going to be ready within a few days, as I said.
So do any of the sort of common industry, there's Restream Studio and StreamYard and Melon App. Those are all built on WebRTC. Do you know if any of them support this signaling standard or?
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
All right. Just curious. Yeah, we use different software to put this on, almost every, we're rotating through trying nearly everything, but, most things these days is WebRTC, right?
Yeah, if you need real-time streaming, without any delays, you don't have many options. One of them is WebRTC, another one is use a mobile device and use protocols like RTMP to lower the delay as much as possible.
Yeah.
So
well, especially of course, I'm doing interviews, and interviews across the internet. WebRTC is pretty much the only choice.
It's the only option you have. Yeah.
All right. So there's a streaming paywall feature in Nimble Streamer.
That's true.
I don't think you talked about that, did you?
Yeah. Actually, we call the paywall is the feature set that was there since the very beginning of our media server. It started with a small feature called hot link protection, which would prevent people from stealing your links. So typically, when you put out something interesting to your web page, to your website, and put a paywall where people pay money, once you get the link, you could play it any way you want and pass it over to the people and just who could use it for free. So kind of a hijack the stream. So we in 2011, back then, we came up with a solution to solve this problem for Windows Media Services. You might remember that media server, which is now not absent anymore. We built this for Wowza Media Server, and then we added it to Nimble Streamer. So this feature became the first feature of paywall. It works well. Once you sign up to the page and get the link with the signature, special signature, you cannot pass it to anybody else because it will not work. Then we had geolocation log, IP log, user agent log, Then we added a more sophisticated feature like a pay-per-view, which would give you the capability to apply your own business logic to the process of authorizing people. Like, for instance, somebody logged into your website, he gets this ID, and if he passes his links to somebody else, you can collect the information and see who's actually watching this stream under which ID, and make decision based on your business logic to cut somebody from the stream and do things like this. Later on, we add the same capability for ingest part. For instance, you have multiple mobile correspondents, people who stream from mobile devices. Since you give out your credentials to somebody to stream, there might be a chance that somebody will use it for not so good things, like stream something illegal or stream something on top of somebody else. So you need to be able to cut to establish a business logic which would control your contributor part. And so this publish control feature set was also added later on, especially when we introduced Larix Broadcaster, and that problem appeared. And so we call this feature set the paywall, which will require you to do some programming with your own hands, but at the end you will apply your own business logic to all these scenarios, all these use cases, and build your own actual paywall to make money on your streams, on your live streaming.
That's important.
Yeah. You gotta make money. And so, speaking of making money, we also added Advertiser Add-On for Nimble Streamer, which allows you to insert ads live as the stream goes by. So it's another way to actually monetize your videos.
Nice.
Plus, we
does it give you stats and things about how many people saw them or clicked them? I guess embedded in the video.
The ads, not from out of the box. You need to also do some programming to parse some statistical information, but at the end, you can get this information as well.
All right. So Kyle is asking, I lead a team of app developers. Do you have any advice for creating world-class products? What's the secret, Yury?
As the great coach Bill Belichick says, do your job. That's it. Seriously, I mean, follow the needs of your customers. You at the end of the day, you solve somebody's problem, and that's how you make money. It's like the intersection of two overlapping circles, as they show in the graphics. The one is the problems that users have, the one that you actually can't do, and so the intersection of those two circles is the area where you make money. So you want to make money. You want to make money, right? And so solve people problems, and money will follow you. I think that's what we did, and
almost
works fine for us so far.
Yeah, that's good. So WMS Panel. That's another product.
Yeah.
On your website, you haven't said much about.
Well, WMS Panel is actually the first product that our team ever built. It was introduced 2011 as a statistic collection tool for Windows Media Services and later for Wazoo Media Server. So all it did is collected data from multiple servers in the same location, the same servers, combined it, showed it via nice graphics, nice stats, allowed people to actually share those stats with their customers. If you're building your infrastructure with a lot of servers, you want to show your stats to your customers who provide you with the streams and want to see the result, like how many people viewed it. And so we collected stats and showed them to the people. And then later on, a couple of years later, we came up with an idea of Nimble Streamer server. Also following, speaking of the previous question, we followed the request from the people. People had problems, like we need some simple solution which would allow us to restream streams. Like here's the origin server, we need a lightweight edge server to actually do the restreaming. Do you guys have anything for that? And so we made some prototypes of Nimble Streamer, and as time went by, 9 years later, we have a full-scale media server which is capable of processing streams of any kind in any order. So WMS Panel was the first product that we introduced that showed us the way into streaming media industry, showed the potential, showed the use cases, which we followed, and that brought us to this point today. So today, WMS Panel is the key point, destination for people who want to build their infrastructure using Nimble Streamer. Like you install Nimble Streamer on your server, in a group of your servers. You go to WMS Panel and you use our web UI to make the settings, see the stats, apply settings to multiple servers at the same time, apply paywall settings, do all the things they need to do in order to set up your streaming infrastructure, and also view stats, of course, because if you build a huge infrastructure, you want to see how many people actually saw your clips, your videos, your live streams, etc.
Nice. All right, and Ben, good night. Yeah, obviously this video will be on the Speedify YouTube, more or less as soon as this is over. So anyone who wants to watch tomorrow, it'll be there. So how do you guys do customer support?
Well,
email, phone. Is it a dedicated team, or people calling the engineers?
It's help desk only. We have a dedicated team of small team. We are a small team of 12 people so far. We have a couple of dedicated support engineers who do their job very good, supporting our customers in cases when people have some questions. But basically, what we from that's the end of the pipeline where people come to us with the questions. But we try to do our products as simple as possible in order to people for our customers not to actually have any need for asking any questions. The web interface that I've mentioned, it allows people to set up their streams easily. And then if they have any questions, we have a lot of articles in our knowledge base. We have video tutorials that people can watch and do the same thing step by step. And then if they still have any questions, if they still have any problems that are not solved by our software itself, they go to our help desk and ask questions. Our team of dedicated support engineers can help them.
So how do they interact? Is it
It's just
email,
a help desk.
email, chat?
Zendesk.
Is it phone?
Yeah, Zendesk help desk. That's it. It's enough to solve the majority of the problems.
Okay, cool. So by the way, every Tuesday, Thursday, I interview super interesting people like Yury. So anyone watching who's just tuning in, if you follow or like us or whatever, I mean, everything's free here. We just do these interviews for your benefit. So, feel free to, follow along so that you find out next time we're going live.
It's an awesome initiative, I must say, because you've interviewed a lot of interesting people that I watched a lot, and I wish you have more and more people from the industry who actually do things and create the products.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like this is going pretty well. Speaking of which, Insomnia Doodle says, yeah, thanks for providing such fun content. Anyone who hasn't watched it, I think it was last Thursday. Sorry, I've completely permanently lost track of time since COVID started, but I think it was just last Thursday. I interviewed Insomnia Doodles, and I probably got more compliments on that interview than on any other. So that is worth watching. So she live streams, she does stuff with VR, and she was certainly our most prepared guest ever. She brought graphics. No offense, Yury. No, it's good. So now we're making sure we ask all the guests, do you have pictures to share? Because it turns out some people really do.
Yeah.
So let's talk marketing and stuff. Are you guys big on social media, or are you guys on Facebook and Twitter all of that?
We
or
have
any of that?
we have a bunch of social media available today. Basically, it's a channel of announcing our new features, our new products, our new capabilities. We are on. Oh, you can go to softvelum.com and go to the lower bar and see all the images, all the icons you can find there. So it's like Twitter, YouTube, Telegram. I mean, I almost forgot how many social media we have. So whatever medium is convenient for you to track the news, you can use it for actually follow up and see what we have new. Because I personally follow up technology companies in Twitter and Telegram. But other people prefer other things. Like we have a Reddit page as well, where people ask their questions too from time to time. But basically it's the announcement that we make on the social media.
Yeah. Okay. So it's mostly just announcements, though. And
Yeah. Because if we have something to say, we say it out loud via all the social media. We have. We usually send out customer email to our customers who are interested in some features, particular features. Basically, it's just announcements. Yeah.
Oh, here's an interesting question. Will Nimble Streamer run off a Raspberry Pi 4?
It does run on Raspberry Pi. Not sure Pi 4. I'm sure.
So four is the latest. 4 is the latest. So.
Well, as long as it uses Debian-based packages, as long as it uses Debian-based packages, Nimble will be able to run there. If you have any problems with Nimble on Raspberry Pi, just go to our help desk and ask a question. I'm sure we will be able to help you with that. But we know that it's working on Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So what versions of Linux? Just the Debian family?
No, it's basically all the major distros. Like Ubuntu is the primary one because we use Ubuntu on our desktops. CentOS, Red Hat, Debian, Raspberry Pi. We have Docker images for running on Docker, which allows running it on macOS. Windows version is there as well. You can run it on Windows. About 10% of our customers use it on Windows, Windows machines. But Linux is the default option for us. It's just the most popular one. But we also support Windows and the Docker image.
Right. Okay. Yeah, for us, Linux, we're just on the Debian family, right? Debian, Ubuntu, Raspberry Pi, all of those.
Right.
The networking stuff is surprisingly different from one version of Linux to another. And well, we want to support them all. It's real work.
Exactly.
All right. Forgive me if this is very basic, but does your solution process streams on a central server, or is it strictly peer-to-peer streaming, or both? That's from Kyle.
Well, it's a traditional central server scheme. You publish your stream. If the stream is published to a Nimble Streamer instance, it can be processed into the output streams that can be viewed by multiple viewers, which need to connect to that central server. Of course, you can build your origin edge infrastructure. We have some origins, some bunch of edges, and people come and connect to the edge servers, but it's still connecting to the server to watch the stream. It's not peer-to-peer. But however, we have examples of peer-to-peer networks that can use Nimble as their source of streams. So if you're running like Peer5 or StreamRoot, you can use Nimble as a source for the stream, for your stream, going to those networks and use it over there as well. We have examples on the website describing that.
All right. Let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsor. Ryan, you want to take it away? We'll be...
Streamergency. The stressful situation when one's live stream breaks down or cuts out unexpectedly.
So, streamergency, it's the word we've made up here at Speedify to describe, when the internet fails you.
That happens all the time. All the time.
Any good stories? Have you been burnt recently by any internet failures?
Well, my failures are concerned with the actual landline break. Like, for instance, I'm running a conversation and then just there's a power outage suddenly out of nowhere, and my landline internet breaks down. So I switch to the mobile network in order to continue working. Just switching within a minute. Other than that, on the mobile side, that is a big problem when you switch base stations as you're moving. I guess this is where the Speedify is a good solution to cover, right?
It sure is.
Yeah.
So, watch my new button. This is incredible. We just got this today. Woo! So I guess I should change layout. So, there we go. So, new setup here, by the way. So now my camera is going into eCam on my Mac, which then acts as a virtual camera to go into the Restream studio, to go to Restream, to go to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're watching. So now I can do crazy things like this. So this is how Speedify looks. This is actually, this stream right here, right? So I'm on a Mac. The Ethernet's plugged into Comcast. I have 2 cell phones tethered to give me 3 total internet connections. And so I mean, I should be safe.
Awesome.
I don't quite. At this point, if I was feeling brave, I'd reach out and just pull the Ethernet. And the only reason I'm not feeling that brave is the back of this Mac has so many cables coming out of the back. I'm not sure I can pull the Ethernet without pulling the power or the camera. And so I don't think it's a great demo.
Yeah, I know that some of our customers who use Larix Broadcaster used some bonding solutions that are like backpacks of hardware like on their back. This can be solved by just some software solution
software
that's
on the
better.
phone. Yeah. Yes. So all those videos I said from the intro where I'm walking around the city of Philadelphia, that's an iPhone with Larix Broadcaster and Speedify. So Larix Broadcaster goes into Speedify. We take care of the bonding. Then we put the packets back out on the internet. Oh, there you go. Look at this. Good job, Ryan. Yeah. Yeah, so that Larix Broadcaster and Speedify are both, running on the phone and then shooting off to Restream. And it works great. So how do you stay on top of things? Like, how do you follow industry news? Is there some site or sites you tend to go to? I mean, there's new technologies all the time. How do you know about them?
I'm a built old-fashioned dude. I use RSS to follow the news from multiple websites, blogs, Twitter. It's basically
that's
Twitter,
not old-fashioned. I thought you were going to say you get the O'Reilly books. That's old-fashioned. I get the O'Reilly books.
Yeah, well, I'm that old, but no, I'm online. I'm online. Yeah, it's basically the websites, Streaming Media Magazine, the websites of the vendors, the journalists that are working in the media, news around the globe, I would say. I'm trying to stay on top of that, like YouTube channels of the vendors that show up good stuff, interviews like yours, where people go and provide the information firsthand, all over the place. Some big announcements come out basically from everywhere. If someone acquires somebody, it's just everywhere. If it's a new technology, you can see it from press releases. You can see it on like on the Twitter of the vendors, cross-posting. So it's enough to follow like a couple of dozen of influencers and companies to actually know what's going on in the industry. So that's what I do.
So Nate is saying that Speedify on a 64-bit Raspberry Pi has some user interface glitches, but on 32-bit works fine. Nate, could you send an email to support@speedify.com describing these glitches? We would love to fix them. And I don't think we know about them, whatever they are. So live streaming, do you watch it? Are there any live streamers you watch? Do you?
Well, I don't have much time to watching live streams, but I do watch some YouTube videos based on recent live streams. Not so much
any
gaming.
Favorites? Yeah.
Not so much gaming, even though I used to play a lot in my student years. Not so much gaming now. Basically, it's just talking heads. That's it. If I run into some nice video of someone playing some good game, being excited, so yeah, I can watch that.
Nice. So, plans for the rest of 2022. Do you guys have goals? Are there
WebRTC? That's what we are going to release. Improve, promote, show use cases, build everything around it. We've been waiting a long time for the technology to be mature enough to actually get our hands on it. We finally did it. We found the best way to make it with the best performance, because our customers love the performance that Nimble Streamer has. And so we want to keep it that way as much as possible. And so we found the best way to do it with the best technology that fits our goals. And so I think this year will be the WebRTC year for our team.
Nice. That sounds pretty good. Any parting thoughts? I think we're right here at an hour. And I know
it's been an hour. Cool.
It's been an hour.
Yeah, if you're interested in learning more about our products, just go to softvelum.com. Just browse through websites, install our apps, try Nimble Streamer. If you have any questions, just send us a note in our help desk. Our engineers will respond within a few minutes. Peace.
All right.
So,
Yury.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity, man. It's been great talking to you. I hope to see more and more guests in your show this year.
All right. And thank you for coming on. I know you're a very busy man, and I think this was good. I think we all learned a lot, and it's great. So let's see. When is my next? Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday at 2:00. We're gonna have some of the developers. Not the developer I said we would have last week, but one of the developers will be on here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, so 4.5 hours earlier than this stream today. And it'll just be me and some of the folks who made Speedify answering any questions, so you can get as technical as you want. We'll have real developers. So that's tomorrow. And I think that's it. So good night, everyone. Thank you again, Yury. And
thank you.
I think this was awesome.
Okay. See ya.